guys on Instagram. I've been getting a lot of questions on how I'm spending my summer days in quarantine, how I'm still staying productive and motivated. And the thing is, I've just sort of made my schedule something that works best for me. So I don't get up before 11 or 11:30 a.m. So then I just go through and start my very, very late morning routine of breakfast and coffee. While I was doing this, I was on FaceTime with one of my best friends who happens to be the president of our sorority. Since last year, I have been very involved in efforts towards diversity and inclusion. I am in predominantly white Greek life, and I'm a very firm believer in making all spaces that you occupy better than when you found them, and that includes this particular organization, which I love, and I've made some of my best friends there. But we've been having a lot of conversations in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement, wanting to ensure that we are listening to the Black women of our chapter, to other women of color in our chapter, including myself, and creating concrete, actionable changes that we will make at a local chapter level, as well as crafting a particular code of conduct and also a letter of demands to our national organization, and trying to see very large-scale changes that will hopefully be another step forward in racial equity. And that's something that I care so deeply about. I didn't film this, but later on in the day, I also edited a couple of documents that we're working on collaboratively, and really taking the fact that we're in a particular moment where everyone is responsible for helping to make change, whether that's via attitude or via action, hopefully both. After touching base with my friend, I sit down at my desk upstairs and get myself ready for the day. This particular day was a Monday, and so I'm going through and planning out my week. I color code, like yellow is for GRE prep, pink is for research, tasks and meetings, different things like that. And I try to keep the list very, very short, just so I have less to focus on. Here I'm just going through and I am reviewing all my vocab that I have in this little vocabulary focused notebook for the GRE. I just slowly add a page or two every day or so of new words that I have gotten incorrect on previous GRE work. So I just go through and I try to review different vocab every day. I also read a lot to have vocab in context, in terms of reading like the New Yorker or other like academic sources. Then I sort of go into the next phase of my GRE work, which is mostly housed in this Be Unruled notebook, just because I think lined paper tends to waste a lot of paper for me, since I have such small handwriting that can be condensed into different columns on the page as well. So the first thing that I do here is correct a bunch of math problems that I got wrong in a section that I had done the night before. I'm trying to be easier on myself if I don't finish absolutely everything that I set out to accomplish in a day, and just be very, very gentle with myself, and the fact that I'm in quarantine and the fact that I'm doing anything productive every day is honestly a miracle, and props to anyone else who's trying to get things done or be like working from home for an internship or what have you. And then I move into this book that I'm using. I can do a full video on my GRE prep and what I'm up to. I'm taking the test in the first week of August, so I'm about halfway through my sort of plan I had for myself in terms of test preparation. Then I just go through like this Magoosh sort of to-do list for the day. They go on this 90-day plan, and I just go through all of these different modules for relearning certain topics or doing different testing strategies or what have you. It's like kind of all sorts of different things that are very, very helpful in my opinion. And then usually the task list ends with doing some like section or a problem or specific type of problem. In this case, it was like reading comprehension questions, and just doing those. And then after I finish a question set, I'll go through and make sure I review my results and correct what I needed to correct or flag certain questions to come back to later. And honestly, it's just doing a little bit every day has been so helpful for me. I just cannot sit and be productive for one particular task for hours on end, so I like to switch gears a lot. So I'm also doing this work for one of the labs that I volunteer in. One is at my university and one is not, but I volunteer sort of virtually. And I also have been doing like a lab book club for one of them and working on reading a specific psychological book. So here what I'm up to is sort of compiling all of the citations for the references page at the end of this manuscript that my professor had been working on. And so it's sort of busy work, I guess, but is really interesting to be able to read the abstracts and the things that come with sort of scanning through and compiling all of these citations. It's a very rainy evening, and so this was kind of a nice thing to do, cozied up on my window seat, listening to some good music. I have just updated my Spotify for those who really like my playlists with my latest study jams that I've been listening to while trying to be productive. By the time I'm done with this research task, it's probably around 5:30 or 6, and then I'm done for the day. The rest of my night is basically hanging out with my family, maybe FaceTiming friends, watching something on Netflix or YouTube, and I probably don't go to bed till 3:30 a.m. And that's just been what has been working for me. Every single day is pretty much structured in a similar way. And just with different tasks within there. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.